I'm Adrian Ziegler, the 24/7 Lead Security Supervisor. I would like to congratulate you on becoming part of the growing team here at Dickies Arena. We, as the 24/7 security team, hold your safety and the safety of our guests as the number one priority. But part of that comes from your assistance due to one simple fact: safety is everyone's responsibility. One of the major ways you can help us is by following See Something, Say Something. See Something, Say Something is an overall concept of reporting anything to security you may come across. Those reports could range from a spilled drink to a suspicious car, from an oddly leaning pole to a person you have seen walk across several times in front of you. We take all reports seriously and are more than happy to investigate. If you would like to report something in person, we are located on the southwest corner of the loading dock on the event level. We have an officer in that office 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. On the radio, we are on channel 2, no matter what radio you pick up. Please never assume that someone else will report it to, so you don't have to. The more reports on the matter, the better. Now, we'll go over some of the basic rules here at Trail Drive Management Corp. As an employee of Trail Drive Management Corp, you will receive an access badge. Depending on your role here at Dickies Arena, that access can be vastly different. The access badge will have a picture of you, the department you work in, and the company logo. You are required to display that badge on your person while you are working. This badge will not get you special access to events or any privileges, so please refrain from trying to enter events using it. It will be confiscated if abused, and you could face disciplinary action up to and including termination. Now that you understand the basics of the access badge, I'll briefly go over some of the other actions that we need to be cognizant of, a quick list of don'ts. Please do not allow someone to follow through a door or gate that you have opened. Do not prop doors open to allow an easy re-entry. And overall, don't be afraid to say something if you see any of these actions being conducted. Remember, you are responsible for anyone you willingly allow entry into the building. During event days, all part-time and temporary staff must enter through the approved entry point. Also, entry through the South Dock on event day is restricted to only approved event credential, authorized full-time staff, and first responders. Next, we'll go over some emergency procedures. We cannot predict or prevent all emergencies before they happen, but we can be prepared to tackle them as they come. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to talk to you about a few basic concepts of our emergency procedures and what you should do. As you go to your departments, further instruction will be given on your role in each scenario, but I will cover the basics here. The first emergency situation that I will cover is an active shooter. There are 3 major options during this emergency that you would have to adhere to: run, hide, and fight. Each option is just as important as the next, and each is dependent on where you are when this particular emergency starts. Run. This option is feasible if you are away from the action taking place. Get out if there is an accessible escape path. Attempt to evacuate the premises. First and foremost, remain calm. Next step, evacuate regardless of whether others agree to follow. Next, leave behind any belongings. Please, please, please do not try to collect anything. Leave as soon as you possibly can. Along the way, help others to escape, if at all possible. Please prevent individuals from entering an area where the active shooter may be. On your way out, please notify them of the dangers ahead and try to assess them to turn around. Keep hands visible at all times. If you run into police or intercept police on your way out, follow the instructions of any police officers. Please do not attempt to move wounded personnel. Call 911 when you are at a safe location. The next step on this list is hide. This applies to you if evacuation is not possible. Find a place to hide where the active shooter is less likely to find you. The first step during hide is to make sure you are out of the shooter's view. That means to close all blinds, block all doors, and turn off all lights. Silence any of your electronic devices so that you do not give away your position. If you're with a group or more people, Please try to keep as calm as possible as to not alert the shooter of your location. As a last resort, and only when your life is in imminent danger, should you fight. Your first step is to attempt to incapacitate the shooter by any means necessary. Grab items that can be used as weapons and either throw or use them as a striking tool. Make sure you commit to your actions. Do not hesitate. And act with physical aggression and continue to throw items until they are incapacitated. After this scenario is concluded, an all clear will be announced over the public address system or the fire alarm strobe boxes. If anyone is shouting all clear down the hallways, please, please, please stay where you are until local authorities have announced it over the PA system. We will talk about as a bomb threat. If you receive the bomb threat over the phone, remain calm, keep the caller on the line for as long as possible, and do not hang up even if the caller does. Gather all information you possibly can to include background noise, the sound of the voice, any distinctive information you could possibly gather from the sound of their voice. Listen carefully, be polite, and show interest. Try to keep the caller talking as long as you possibly can. Look at the caller ID, check the phone number or any names that pop up, but do not mention any of this information unless they bring it to your attention. Also, if you have a radio, please do not use it. This slide here will show you the bomb threat procedure sheet that is issued from Homeland Security. Each one of these will be by a phone, so if you were to take this call, please follow along the guidelines. On the left side of the page, under bomb threat procedures, you will see a list of instructions. On the right side of the page, you will see a checklist. This is where you record any and all information or distinctive qualities from the phone call and jot it down here. The next emergency we're going to go over is severe weather. Weather is monitored by our 24/7 security team as well as Event Command. First and foremost, learn where you are located within the arena and where the closest safe zone is from your workstation. During the emergency, instructions and guidance will be given throughout, so please remain calm and follow these instructions. Do not stop any guests from leaving the arena and assist those to a safe area if safe to do so. An evacuation. There are two types of evacuation. One is an audience-led evacuation, while the other is a controlled evacuation. First, we will go over the controlled evacuation. During a controlled evacuation, depending on your department, a preparatory command will be given and preparations will begin. During this time, do not discuss the possibility of evacuation with any guest and do what you can to keep the situation calm. At no point are we to stop and hold guests that want to leave the arena. Wait on your supervisor or notification through the public address system to take the next step, and be sure to know where the closest exits are in relation to your current workstation. The next is an audience-led evacuation. Usually, an audience-led evacuation occurs due to a catastrophic event, such as an active shooter. During these times, if you can safely do so, notify your supervisor as soon as possible. If it is safe to do so, assist in directing staff to exits and do not stop anyone from leaving the arena. More guidance will be given after investigation into the catalyst of the evacuation commences. Next, we'll go over a medical emergency. First and foremost, if you feel that it requires a call, please call 911. When you feel the scenario is safe to do so, contact security and your supervisor as soon as possible. Although it is not required, we do encourage you to provide CPR or first aid if you are trained to do so. Make sure to retrieve or send someone to retrieve an AED. Although you may not need it in that setting, it is best to grab it regardless and build the habit of always bringing it to an emergency. During some emergency situations, if you need to alert security discreetly, use the code NORA or need an officer right away. Phrases like the ones listed below are some that you may use over the radio or over the phone, or to a fellow employee to alert security, such as Nora has a phone call in the box office. That'll alert us that you need an officer right away at the box office. Remember, use the word Nora and your location. If you hear someone use the code, they may be asking you to get them help. Next, we'll briefly go over a few contacts and an overview. Like mentioned earlier, any Trail Drive Management Corp radio, Channel 2, will be the security department. If at any point in time you need to get a hold of 24/7 security, please switch to Channel 2 and call us. Here is a list of our phone numbers. Our primary phone number there, 817-402-9500, goes to our desk, which is monitored 24/7 by a security officer. The secondary phone number there is a cell phone that we tend to carry if we need to be out of the office for any reason. And usually that cell phone is carried by a supervisor, so either number would work. And like mentioned before, our location is on the event level in Sector 1, which is the southwest corner of the building on the west side of the loading dock. Remember, if you see something, say something. No concern is too small. We are more than happy to tackle anything you bring. You are not bugging or bothering us. So please, please, please feel free to report at any point in time. And always remember to trust your gut. Welcome to the Dickies Arena team.